Good afternoon. You're very welcome to the program. You're listening to SIRAJ ZAIDI until 4 o'clock, India time, 8:30. And there's another week, another program, and another dedicated program to the music lovers, because we have a guest in the studio and we also have a dedicated tribute to no other than the legend of our industry, ASHA Bhosle, who is no longer with us at the age of 92. She left us, and we'll talk about her and talk about the anecdote and the story about Asha ji, Asha Tai, as we used to know in the industry. And just like anything else, we start the program with the news of the week. So sit back, relax, and listen to Charmaine about the news of the week from India.
Good afternoon, I'm Charmaine Colvin, and you are listening to Apna Radio 93.9 Dublin South FM. On India this week, a leader from Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, has taken oath as the new Chief Minister of Eastern State of Bihar after veteran politician Nitish Kumar stepped down. Samrat Chowdhury, who was Kumar's deputy, has been sworn in Bihar's first BJP Chief Minister. Chowdhury has held senior roles in the BJP, including that of the party's state president, and led major election campaigns in different states. But he now has big shoes to fill. Kumar, one of Bihar's most influential leaders, was chief minister for the most part of the past 2 decades, often switching political alliances to stay in power. With more than 74 million voters, Bihar is India's poorest state, with millions migrating to other parts of India for jobs. It is also among the few states in India where the BJP has not managed to form a government yet on its own. Kumar, who belongs to BJP's ally, Janata Dal United, or JDU, was elected to the upper house of parliament last month. The 75-year-old politician's move had been on the cards for a while because of his deteriorating health. He resigned from the chief minister's post on Tuesday, paving the way for Chowdhury's appointment. Chowdhury is seen as a prominent leader from a caste group that is part of other backward class, OBC, communities identified by the government as socially and economically disadvantaged. That forms a significant share of the electorate in Bihar, where caste remains a central factor in politics. Chowdhury's political career spans more than 3 decades and a number of parties. He was once a member of the RJD, Bihar's main opposition party. He joined Kumar's JDU in 2014, but left in 2017 and joined the BJP, at a time when Kumar himself had realigned with the BJP after breaking with his previous allies. His political approach has drawn both support and criticism within the ruling coalition. However, in the meantime, he has made history as his party's first chief minister in a politically crucial state. Around 9 million voters, about 12% of West Bengal's 76 million electorate, have been removed from the 2026 rolls as part of the Special Intensive Revision (SIR) exercise. Voting to elect a new state government will take place later this month in this eastern Indian state. Of the 9 million, more than 6 million names were struck off as absentee or deceased voters, while the fate of another 2.7 million remains undecided and will be determined by tribunals. 13 states and federally administered territories have undergone the SIR process so far, but West Bengal is the only one where it was followed by an additional layer of special adjudication. India's Election Commission says the revision is meant to weed out duplicate or outdated entries and add genuine voters, but the exercise has been mired in controversy and faced legal challenges ever since it was first held in the state of Bihar last year. It has become particularly contentious in West Bengal, where the ruling Trinamool Congress Party is locked in a bitter standoff with the poll body. Ganesh Kumar, the Chief Election Commissioner, has said the revision exercises aim to ensure a pure electoral roll, with no eligible voters excluded and no ineligible persons included. The tensions have been fueled by remarks from political leaders, including from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who have suggested in campaign speeches that the clean-up is aimed at identifying so-called illegal Bangladeshi infiltrators, a term the TMC says is being used to refer to Muslims. However, many Hindu voters have also been left out from the list. West Bengal is also home to India's second-largest Muslim population, accounting for roughly 14% of the country's 172 million Muslims, according to the 2011 census. Home to more than 70 million voters, the state has been governed by Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's TMC since 2011, with Modi's BJP as its main challenger. With the fourth highest number of India's parliamentary seats, West Bengal remains a key prize the BJP has yet to win. In the 2021 Assembly polls, it secured about a quarter of the state's 294 seats. Banerjee's party alleges the role revision exercise has disenfranchised millions, particularly Muslims, to benefit the BJP, a charge both the party and the Election Commission deny. A new web series that confronts marital rape in India has put the spotlight on the grim topic in a country that has stubbornly refused to criminalise it. Chiraya, the Hindi word for small birds, aired on Jio Hotstar in March. It has already drawn an audience of millions, making it one of the network's most popular Hindi shows in months. Praised by media critics for confronting a subject that is largely seen as taboo, it has sparked conversations on social media about consent and misogyny. At the same time, some commentators have described it as anti-men and an attempt to undermine the sanctity of marriage. Some 6.1% of Indian women who have ever been married women have experienced sexual violence, according to government data. But despite years of campaigning by activists, India remains among 36 countries, along with Pakistan, Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia, where marital rape is not outlawed. Activists have filed a number of petitions in recent years in Supreme Court, calling for marital rape to be criminalised. But the government, religious groups and men's rights activists oppose any plans to amend the colonial-era law, which exempts a man from having forced sex with his wife if she is not a minor. Sharma, Shariah's scriptwriter, said, "This injustice is happening within our homes, in our neighbourhoods. What I find most troubling is that there's no legal or social recourse. So as a writer, I felt I should do my bit about it." And finally, the funeral of legendary Indian singer ASHA Bhosle has taken place in Mumbai, a day after she died at the age of 92. The two-time Grammy nominee was cremated at the city's Shivaji Park on Monday with full state honours. The ceremony was attended by celebrities and politicians, with scenes at the venue showing large crowds gathered outside to bid her farewell. Bhosle's career spanned nearly 8 decades and included thousands of recordings across genres and languages. She died in Mumbai on Sunday after being admitted to hospital following a heart attack. Her death has prompted an outpouring of grief from across India and beyond, with fans remembering her as one of the most defining voices of Indian cinema. And that's all from me. You have been listening to Apna Radio 93.9 Dublin South FM.
Thank you very much, Charmaine. You've done a very good job covering a massive amount of information from north to south to Mumbai for giving tribute to no other than ASHA Bhosle, who is known as Nightingale of, the last of the, like Lata Ji, Rafi, Muhammad Rafi, Kishore Kumar, all these legends of our film industry, which survived for hundreds of, she's sung hundreds of songs, and 92 years of age is a long age. In fact, last week, she was admitted to Beachcandy Hospital and she was being pronounced dead on Sunday. She had a good life. She indeed had a fantastic innings by, singing a massive amount of double super hit songs. And, the songs that I'm going to play now are the one which has ensemble of her beautiful sort of voice into all of these hit songs that has been played over the years, and no radio station can actually survive. I regularly play Asha Ji's song, Asha Tai, as we know in the industry. She has been legend, and in fact, I met her at the launch of recently the restoring of Umrao Jan. The Umrao Jan print has been restored as a new print, and there was a launch of that in Mumbai, and Asha Ji was there. She sung In Aankhon Ki Masti and all the other beautiful songs on Rekha Ji, which was sung by ASHA Bhosle. So this is something that has been sent over to me by my friend Atul Tiwari, who is an actor, director and writer. So sit back, relax and enjoy this super hit of Asha Ji.
चुरा लिया है तुमने जो दिल को, नजर नहीं चुराना सनम, बदलती मेरी तुम जिंदगानी, कहीं बदल ना जाना सनम, मर गम मिट जाए हम, बोलो सुबह शाम করেছি প্রেম করেছি তোর দুই তো রাধার মতো মরতে বলে মোর বই তো आओ हुजूर तुमको सितारों में ले चलूं दिल झूम जाए ऐसी बहारों में ले चलूं मैं बन के मोरनी नाच उठी मैं नाच उठी चन्ना नाच उठी मेरे नैनों में रंग दे हाँ रंग दे अपने पीछे बिच रंग दे
That is something Asha was there, and you've noticed a song called Dam Maro Dam, and I'm going to tell you a little story about the song and the story how Asha Bhosle was being engaged with this story, and the basically Dam Maro Dam was never supposed to exist in the film. Sometime in 1970, R.D. Burman and Anand Bakshi was instructed by great Devanand Saab. And Devanand Saab said that I need a short background song which was, modern, zany, and upbeat. And he wanted the interlude to play when the hero enters to a party that is supported by the, people and the party and his sister Zeenat Aman is smoking weed, charas, ganja, as we call it, in a chilam. And Devanand wanted Lataji to sing this song, in fact, this interlude. But when R.D. Burman and Anand Bakshi was jamming for this particular interlude, Anand Bakshi ji came up with this song based on a common folk lingo in India called Dam Maro Dam, Mit Jai Gham. There's a very common lingo where people call about these things. And he said, look, let's do a song on that. And that perfectly suited the situation. So soon they had a full song written and composed. And when Devanand heard about this song, Dam Maro Dam, he scratched his head and he said, two things happened. One, he did not think Lata was suited for this particular song. And second, he decided to drop the song from the film, as he felt it was far superior than the song that followed in the scene in which, he was to be picturized on him. The heroes are very conscious about their image on the songs and things like that. R.D. Burman and Anand Bakshi ji convinced Dev Sahab that to at least record the full song with Asha Bhosle's voice and then decide what to do with it. If you want to drop it later on, you can drop it. So the song was recorded. The song came out so well, everyone was happy, and the best of the song was Hare Rama Hare Krishna was Dam Maro Dam. But Dev Saab developed cold feet about it. He was nervous, and he decided to drop the song from the film. But as the fate has it, when Asha ji came to know about this particular situation, she was furious. She was absolutely flabbergasted. And she first called R.D. Burman, and he said that, she said that it was, R.D. said that, look, I'm helpless. It's Dev Saab. He's a superstar. I can't say anything against him. He's paying me for my music. So she went to meet Devanand, and she recalled going to extremely upset to head on to his bungalows. And Dev Saab came out from the house, and he told him, she told him that it's a wonderful number. You should be retaining that at any cost in the movie, and the movie will be super hit if you keep this song. He thought for some time, and then he said, okay, since you are insisting and saying this, I will keep it. Rest is the history. Dam Maro Dam became the biggest hit song of the younger generation in 1971, when Zeenat Aman is a smoking dope and smoking and hippie song, as we call it. We all grew up with this kind of particular song. It used to be played as we have played in the ensemble. So this is the history of Lata ji and Asha ji on those days. Those are the kind of way used to do that. Asha Bhosle has also been featured in a corner shop. The corner shop, Ashes full of broom and all that. That corner shop was displayed yesterday morning on RTE Radio 1. But Asha Bhosle is Asha Bhosle. What can I say? I mean, she is a legend. And she was 92. She owned a few restaurants in town. And last Ramadan, which went past by, and Eid, she requested on social media that people should visit her restaurant. Asha's. It's called Asha's. So this is the kind of thing that stars do. When they make money, they invest it into property or in the businesses. And Asha Bhosle was no less a multimillionaire, as many of these superstars are, whether they're singers, actors, directors, not really directors, but mainly producers. But goodbye, Asha ji. Asha ji is no more, and I would try to actually play another clip of a song that I would be requested by another actor from all the way from Delhi, because Moon Singh. She might come to the film festival. You never know. Moon Singh is a wonderful actor, and she performs songs, and she performs theatre clips, theatre pieces, and do workshops. She owns a Urja Center in Noida, and she's in touch with me for a few times in order to perform. In fact, when we were running a film festival during COVID time, she performed online a couple of songs for me. But she requested this particular song, said that it's the most disenchanted song, which is less being used in the industry. But I'm going to play. It's her request, Munmunji. This is your request. So sit back, relax, and enjoy that.
There is an interesting pattern which is unfolding in the play.
जड़ूंगी तुझे मेरे काले कमली वाले की सॉन्ग हो तुझे मेरे काले कमली वाले की सॉन्ग.
Chairman, this is something very rarely sung song and, played in the programs as well because they are rare songs. And Phir se aaye badra, Bidesi tere pankhon pe. Beautiful sung by Asha ji. And indeed, it was written by Gulzar Saab. And R.D. Burman has done a lot of music for Asha ji. So, Asha ji is no more, but her songs will always be with us, just like Rafi Saab, Kishore Saab and Lata ji. I regularly feature their songs in my program, and this program is dedicated to Asha Bhosle, and we are paying a solid tribute to her passing. There is a sher in Hindi, and I will say that, and then I'll move on to the next topic, which is Sharad's clip is Waiting in the Wings to be played about education in India. But this particular sher, as we call it, a couplet, a song, poetry, says that Maut uski ke jis pe zamana kare afsos. Maut uski ke jis pe zamana kare afsos. यूं तो आए हैं दुनिया में सभी जाने के लिए. Very emotional for me. Knowing Asha ji, her voice and her contribution to the industry had been very, very powerful for everybody. Rest of the industry is mourning, and we are pouring our love to the soul of Asha Bhosle, who will remain with us forever and ever. This is something, a power of an artist, which been remembered and revered all over the world. So, with those notes, I shall be back soon on one of her songs later on in the program. But particularly today, Sharad has got a very good, angle on the education system in India. And he's been talking to me earlier on about this particular topic. And I said, why not? So sit back, relax, and listen to what he has put together.
There is an interesting pattern which is unfolding in the plain sight. What we are seeing here, but then it is escaping the public outrage at the national level. So in India, where the population rises about 6 to 7% annually, and therefore the aspirations are growing faster, but then what we are observing is that the schools are disappearing. The cost for education is rising, and also the access to good education is shrinking, it is narrowing. According to me, this is not an administrative change. It is a designed structural movement. It is being made in a particular way that education is being changed in its very shape and form. The institutions are moved away from the general public. So the story of India begins with few contradictions. Between 2017 and 2024, tens of thousands of government schools have vanished from official records. At the same time, millions of children have also dropped out of the formal education system. This all have not raised alarm. This has not created a political reckoning. Instead, this is a language of reform in the education system, which is trying to fill the gap. But if you closely look at this reform, it is revealing a different character, and it is not what it is promised, but it is something that it is producing in India. Education was not always framed as a market in India. It wasn't a commodity. In modern constitutional democracies, it is defined as a right, a public good essential for citizenship, dignity, and the social upliftment of people of India. In India, this commitment was formalized in Article 21A of the Constitution and the Right to Education Act in 2007, I think. And this promised a universal, free and accessible schooling for all under the age of 14. Also, the universities were low in cost and anybody could get admission if they were deserving, but economics was not the restrictive factor. For a brief period from independence, this promise translated into realities. Schools expanded into remote geographies. You would find a small size school in whatever shape and form, but a school in every village. There were enrollments. That's a different story that there were dropouts, but there were enrollments. This system, though highly imperfect, I would say, carried a moral direction of inclusion of all classes of children into school. It was a parental aspiration. But then this has shifted. Policies like these ones, the current one, about school rationalization and then structural economic reform has been brought into the education system of India in the name of efficiency, in the name of consolidation, rather than bringing schools to the families. So the schools were merged. And what has happened is the distance from home to school, and these are young children who are anyway insecure in this lawless society. So the distance between the school and the families have increased. And what has happened is that the most affected out of the school children are not only just the poor children who have to make an expense to travel to the school, but also the girls. They have now become more insecure and therefore parents are opting to move out. So on paper, this looks administrative optimization, but on ground, this has changed the entire structure of the Indian society. There is transportation cost that the parents have to now incur because the schools have moved farther away. In many cases, given the first opportunity, the children are dropping out. And on top of it, what's happening is the private education is coming into play. The options are given about the private schools. So if you look from a distance, the state government, the central government of India have moved away from the education system and they have brought in a player in the market, and that is the private educators. And this is the precise moment where the right to education has moved into a commodity, a market. You are going to buy education. If you look at how the education currently is shifting towards, it has created layers. There's a power play. At the top are the elite institutions in all the cities, whether it is A, B or C tier cities. So there are elite institutions which are insulated, which requires a lot of money. They are resource rich. And slowly, these institutions are now marketing themselves to be connected to the global institutions, saying there are exchange programs to some European schools and colleges. The foreign boards like Cambridge and IBS, they are coming into these fancy, rich institutions. So in the middle class, because there is an aspiration for education, families are stretching themselves beyond their means. They are taking loans. They are cutting consumption and they are sacrificing their long-term securities and savings just to secure schooling for their children. Why? Because the private players are giving the top class education while the government is slowly cutting on the education which is cheaper, less expensive. It is not a sudden thing that is happening. It is gradual because the structural shift in India is being planned in the name of economy, in the name of GDP. And this is not new. It is although new in India, but this is not new in the global history. In pre-modern Europe, literacy was controlled by church and aristocrats. They were the people who had big libraries. Church were the center of education and imparting knowledge. So the access of knowledge was restricted not because the books were scarce, but because the power required containment of knowledge and thoughts. So the thoughts were coming out of church in Europe. The arguments were coming out of aristocracy to only suit their purpose. But then slowly, when the literacy expanded during the era of enlightenment in history, it actually started to destabilize the existing hierarchies. And we see revolutions coming in France, in parts of Europe, where the intellectuals and the people holding the power, like the Pope in Rome, they were challenged. So the lesson is consistent across all societies. When knowledge spreads, the power which is now concentrated in hands of few, that diffuses to common people. And that had happened in India for last 80 years. But then it is understood that in order to consolidate power, the education has to shrink. Therefore, modern systems no longer deny the access to education. It is not an apartheid situation where students, where children are stopped from being educated. They are priced. The barrier of expense, of cost, has slowly been put into the system. Subtle, but then it has become very effective. So why education? This is another part we should all understand, that education possesses a unique economic characteristic. It is absolutely non-negotiable. Families will cut down on consumption. They will delay their healthcare, hospitalization. They will reduce their future savings and security. But they will not easily withdraw from children education. They may take loans, pay high interest. Now look at the British education system. By the time a child graduates from a university, he or she is already in a debt of £50,000, which is equivalent to roughly 60 lakh rupees in India. Roughly same thing is happening in India also. So that makes education sector an ideal sector for market expansion. And that is what the global players are targeting. And once the private actors enter at scale, the demand will remain constant. In case of India, 6% population growth, the demand is going to increase. And the pricing adjustments can be made easily because education is not negotiable. There is expansion of private schools, followed by the coaching industry, and the education tech platforms. We had the case of Baiju. Thank God it is closed now. So they are all a trajectory of the entire education system, an ecosystem, which is creating a layer in the Indian society. And somebody has learned from the European history, from the American history, that if you want to herd the thought process of people, make them dependent, you need to make education expensive. And this is what even the international institutions like Monetary Fund, IMF and World Bank over decades have encouraged governments across the world to reduce public expenditure and increase private participation in social sectors like education, and especially in developing countries. I may sound a little bit basing my arguments on conspiracy theory, but then the facts are in front of the public. If somebody has an counter argument, why education should not be free, should not be cheap, why should it be burden to families, please do come forward and give your arguments. So what this education is also doing to the society is creating a change in the behavior. In late 19th century, if you see industrial societies, access to education and skill formation was often mediated by an employer control system. So workers were trained within their systems and were less likely to challenge them, not out of loyalty, out of dependency. And today in United States, the rapid rise of student debt over past 3 decades have linked to delayed in life decisions. It had lowered the entrepreneurial skills and risk-taking, and it has increased the preference for a more stable employment over uncertain business risk, because they are all dependent now due to the financial load that they have taken for getting themselves educated. So United States, Britain, other countries like India now following the suit. So when the financial pressures are high, people withdraw from day-to-day politics. When the state reduces its role in education, it is not actually reducing its expenditure. It is changing the relationship between the government and the citizens. So today people are coming on streets to protest, not against the government, against the institutions who are charging high fees in India, against those schools and colleges which are charging for the books and the monopolization of the school uniforms and the school books. They are not standing in front of the assemblies, the parliament, to make education more accessible. So the relationship has changed. And now the citizens are not interacting with the government. So there is a complaint process. Citizens go to the schools. They may demand with the local administration. There is a law and order situation, but then there is an element of compliance. And then the parents say that because they cannot spend too much time on the protest, let's make a cut in their savings to get their school, to get their children educated. So there is a change in this behavior, and that is where the problem is. In India, the consequences are grave. If the current trajectory continues, the implication of this expensive education is just not getting limited to education. By 2030, in another 4 to 5 years, there will be disappearance of significant number of government schools and their access to the families. Children would have to travel in expensive buses and transport systems to reach the school. It will redefine how the societies will interact with each other. Parents will be busy transporting their children. Parents will be busy earning for their children. The families will cut down on their future. Families will be poor. They will be sucked out of their savings by the private players in education. And all this because education is the most prized philosophy of a family. Because education is supposed to bring opportunity. So I am not creating an alarm right now, but then I am creating a warning due to the logical extension of what has happened in history of Europe, of the developing society, of the Western societies, of US. And I'm extending this logic, this argument to what is currently happening in India. Any government any politician, any leader who is going to change the structure of education to free education, access to all, will be heavily opposed by people in power. Any politician who talks about free colleges, free universities, like they do it in Germany. The strength of German economy today is because the education is free right until university levels. People are educated. People come on street in order to fight against any injustice. People are more politically aware and active in Germany because the education is free. Therefore, in India, if education is made free by any leader, the power play and the resistance that will come from the private player and the money power, and of course the external factors like the IMF and the World Bank, and the global education players like the Cambridge and the Oxfords and the foreign universities who are now opening their shops in India, the pressure is going to be enormous. That's the warning. With those words, I leave you until next week. Stay safe, stay informed, and like the Pope said yesterday, at the end of the day, somebody has to stand up. Bye for now.
Dublin South FM. You wouldn't buy a car without knowing its history. So why would you buy a story without knowing who's telling it? Come here and I tell you. It's not always easy to verify what you see, read or hear. But now there's help. Visit www.bemediasmart.ie. Stop, think, check. Be Media Smart. Brought to you by Media Literacy Ireland, supported by RTE.
93.9 Dublin South FM.
Welcome back to the program. Indeed, this is Dublin South FM 93.9 and you're listening to Apna Radio, broadcasting every Thursday at 3 o'clock here, the local time, 8:30 in India time, and wherever you are listening me in the Middle East or Far East or in America or in Canada, wherever you're listening, according to your own clock, set the time, and you know that we have a difference. Our time scale here is exactly the same as London time. In Dublin and London is the same time, So that's the tribute, and what a shocking news about the education system in India. And thank you very much indeed, Sharath, for putting together the nice way to, I heard about it, we've all gone through this whole system of trying to compete in the private exams and, running around the coaching center, paying an extraordinary amount of money to these coaching center in order to compete, the higher exams, whatever the engineering, medicine, IPS, IFS, whatever exams you sit, the government exams and all that. But such is the power of education, as you quite rightly said. And if you are educated, and the irony of that is that our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, has never been to education centre at all. In fact, in Karan Thapar's show, he admitted that he not in, only completed in the 6th form or 7th form, not in the high school. So this is an unfortunate situation that we have leaders who have the entire gang, as I said, are less educated, and it is the quality of education that makes the country worth considering when it comes to competing with the rest of the world in terms of development and all that. But enough of that. I promised you to introduce a guest in the studio, Ayushman, who is here in the studio talking about Ayushman, a concert that he's bringing in Dublin, and with the big Bollywood star Sri Leone, whatever. He'll talk about it, about this. Sri Leone, as you know, that she is a huge star coming from Canada, went to Mumbai and settled down in Mumbai and become a Bollywood star. So she's coming over first time in Dublin, and Ayushman shows Ayushman's concert that has been going on for quite some time in a limited way in different venues of Dublin, is going to be first time in a mega venue of Leopardstown Racecourse, which is here in the south side, and the open air summer concert. So Ayushman, you're very welcome to the program, and thank you very much for coming to the studio. And first of all, tell me about your interest in music.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Siraj sir.
Good afternoon.
My interest in music is like a normal Indian. We just listen to the music. We grew up listening to the music and always felt like we should be a part of Bollywood somewhere, somehow, but it's not possible. So we are figuring it out, like how to be a part of Bollywood indirectly.
Wonderful. And why not? Because it is an industry which embraces performing arts, music, dance and cinema and filming and all that. Combining all of that makes the so-called Bollywood industry, which is Bombay's Hollywood. That's where the word comes from. Because we also do a lot of remaking of Hollywood films in our own Hindi language. And that becomes the Bollywood. But in terms of music, what is happening in the world of music? Tell the listeners, please.
Yeah, exactly. I like fully agree with you, whatever you said regarding Bollywood. With the music, as you are already paying tribute to ASHA Bhonsle ji, that is one of the biggest loss we have for the music. And worldwide, Arjit Singh, I think you might hear this, that he's not going to be singing for any Bollywood movie now. He'll be doing his solo projects. Mm-hmm. And worldwide, like India is like, I don't know, peaking out in concerts. So if you see all the Bollywood, Punjabi, even Hollywood artists or many singers like from abroad, they're doing their concerts in India because concert industry just peaked out from nowhere after COVID, and people are like literally loving it. Massive stage, massive gathering, and every artist in the world, I think they're finding like Indian artists, like, they just wanted to add Indian listeners to their list because being a most populated country in the world, that's where you bring a lot of revenue to your cards as well, and like, the huge amount of listeners. So yeah, I think future of music in India is going very great.
It's great. When we were chatting just before the interview, you mentioned that our actor Arjun Rampal, he is DJing around the world as well. Is he?
Exactly. Now, Sunny Leone, like I don't think many people know about it, but she's a DJ and she's coming to our fest as a celebrity DJ. At the same time, Arjun Rampal, yes, he's doing great. He's a DJ as well. He's doing worldwide shows. Currently, he's doing a tour for Canada. So I think he's playing in Canada for this month, and after that a North American tour as a DJ. So yeah, I think even the Bollywood actors, they are finding their like own passion to be a DJ nowadays, and then they're doing great shows.
Wonderful. Yes, I was listening and following since Lucky Ali has been into Dublin a few years ago. He's going out to do the American show as well, the same Los Angeles, Denver, Chicago, and many other countries and all that. So these guys are, because they have a huge track record of their celebrity status, so they're the one who's cashing it. So going around the world and performing. So mainly when they go out, will they be crossing over the local audience of that country, or just be targeting the diaspora Indian community and Desi community?
Oh, well, to be honest, nowadays, even if in our normal Bollywood events, if you see, like you can see a population, like 20% population of Europeans, Irish local. So I think music is just music, like I don't think music is just like specific to any diaspora or any like language. Yes, like it's our own language. So majority of song is like in like Punjabi and Hindi. Mm-hmm. But yes, there is a specific population of people. For example, Punjabi MC, even before being very big in like Punjabi industry or like in Bollywood industry, he was listened by like a lot of white people here, to be honest. And I think I was speaking to you and you told me like he did his show 10 years ago here.
That's right.
And it was
Punjabi
like
MC,
90% of the tickets were like bought by local Irish people. So yes, I think, yeah, they have a huge like following, like Indian specific for sure, Pakistani and like Bangladeshi, Nepali specific. But at the same time, like there is 20 to 30% population of local country. They are also, they're exploring their music, like, so they're also exploring new artists, and that people just love to go to any kind of concerts nowadays.
And when they go to the concert, do they expect to dance or to enjoy the concerts as it happens here in Dublin with the mainstream kind of thing? Or they're just too attracted by the celebrities and are doing the celebrity gazing?
So the best about a local population, let's say if they are coming to an Indian concert or an Indian show, they go with a zero pressure of like, this is my favorite music, I want to listen to this. They just want to explore. Every single track you play there is new for them, and they just love it, So without judging or without having any favorite music list or something like that, they just go for experience. So they just want to take like full experience of the culture. They want to explore the culture and like, the different tracks.
Right. So what's you bringing into Dublin? And as I said in my intro, when is it, where is it, and how you come about?
So we are bringing the first Bollywood Summer Fest for this country. Luckily, we are lucky enough that this is our first Bollywood summer concert, and at the same time, it's not a good thing because we have a huge Indian population here and nothing like this has happened before. So that gives us an opportunity to bring something really new to the country. So we are bringing first Bollywood Summer Fest in the most iconic location of Dublin South. That's called Dublin 18 at Leopardstown Race Course. I think that's the first time it's happening in Leopardstown Race Course as well. With a massive Indian lineup of celebrity artists like Sunny Leone. She will be playing a DJ set. She'll be spinning Bollywood, Punjabi and South Indian music to cover the full pan-India audience. Second one is the world's most selling Punjabi artist, Punjabi MC. I'm sure everybody know him, but his famous tracks like Mundiya To Bach Ke Rahi and all, they have taken the word wide, massive recognition and still being played in every club night. Third one is Juggy D.
Juggy D is also very popular.
Yeah, very popular. Like Juggy D and the group of Jay Sean and all, they started doing this urban Punjabi hip hop 22 years ago in UK and went famous worldwide. Had multiple songs in Bollywood movies, followed by Arjun. Arjun is basically a fusion artist. He does his English fusion with famous Bollywood tracks. The most popular song of Arjun is with Guru Randhawa, Suit Karda. He brought Guru basically to music industry. And since then, Arjun is being loved by many people. He's been throwing his tracks regularly. He's very regular with his music, doing fusion, English fusion with many popular tracks. And on top of that, we have a very nice DJ. He's been DJing since last 25 years, DJ Herbs. He has been main DJ for many singers, many celebrities, doing a lot of shows in arenas. He's coming from London. One DJ from Europe, Germany, DJ G1, along with the Live Dhol group. They are also coming from Germany. Followed by our local Punjabi Bhangra group, Shamrock Bhangra.
I was just going to ask it, what is the local content?
Yeah, we do have Dancing Dynamites, a local Indian group who are dancers. Followed by, we have two more performers. One is from New Delhi. He's living in Dublin. He's doing a beatboxing. And then there is a local rapper as well. His name is Spidey. So he'll be doing some his rapping stuff with a DBX on the beat. So yeah, that's all we have for now.
Super. And I'm going to give you the taste of, thank you very much for giving all the details about it and how people will reach out for this, for the tickets and all that. Would you have any hotline?
Yeah, so all they need to do is they can go on Google or they can go on our Insta page, Ayushman Events, and they can click the link in the bio, or either they can search in the Google Ayushman's Bollywood Summer Fest 2026 Dublin, and I think they will see the tickets. It's on the website called Eventbrite. So yeah, it's available on Eventbrite.
Lovely. And I'm going to play all the clips that you've been sort of sharing it on social media. And why? Because it's a fantastic music clip and the details to go with it. So once again, thank you very much for coming into the studio and talking to our listeners. And I'm really excited, and I'm going to be there and will enjoy this concert. It's going to be the fantastic summer concert in June. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this particular. Once again, thank you for coming into the studio.
Hey yo people, it's DJ Harps. Catch me on the 20th of June in Dublin, Ireland for Ayushman's Bollywood Summer Fest. It's the biggest festival coming to Dublin, Ireland. You can catch me, Sunny Leone, Juggy D, Arjun, Punjabi MC and many, many more. It's the biggest show in Dublin, Ireland. Make sure you get your tickets, 20th of June. I'll see you all there.
So that was a summer concert, Bollywood summer concert that is happening, Ayushman show in June at the RDS. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon, not the RDS, the Leopardstown race course. The first time open air concert is taking place in there. And I'll be reminding you for the first, a bit of a time, the whole month of April is here or the May is here. And then I'll be giving you some sort of a teaser of this particular concert regularly in my show. So That was it. Time is really running out. I have got only 7 minutes left to play another beautiful song of ASHA Bhosle. That is one of my favorite songs, which ASHA ji has sung beautifully in that film called Umrao Jaan. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this particular song. Jaiman, that's a song very close to my heart, and the director Muzaffar Ali has been here in the film festival, bought this film, Umrao Jaan, which is turned out to be the legend film of all-time hit song. So that's it, and that was ASHA Bhosle, no longer. However, I will be consistent in playing Asha Ji's songs for the next few weeks over the coming weeks, and it will be paying tribute to Asha Bhosle. And if, of course, they're requesting the artist in India, in Mumbai, to send me more and more information about herself, her life, and all that. So that's it. And thank you very much indeed, Sharath, for your educational trip, and Charmaine for giving a news from India. I'll be back same time, same place, 93.9 Dublin South FM. Don't forget to tune me in. Bye for now.